Hello students, this is Dr. Miller and this is assignment 2 and this is the video that relates to graphics. So if we go over to assignment 2 and look at this, we're going to be doing social media graphics, and we will do those specifically for Facebook, for LinkedIn, and for Twitter. And you will be creating a Twitter account as part of this exercise. And you will also be doing a LinkedIn personal profile page. So there's a lot of work here. You really need to get on it, but let's just talk about the graphics in this one. And if you look in the articles right here, you're going to see that there are a number of articles that relate specifically to how you set up your business page in Facebook and how to use the graphics within that. The last week you actually did start your Facebook page, and some of you actually have some really cool graphics already, so maybe some of this is redundant for you. If you are using graphics tools that I don't talk about here and you're comfortable with them, like for example if you use Real Photoshop, that's cool, not a problem. I'm going to show you real quickly a free online application called Pixlr, and you can use that to do your graphics, and it doesn't cost you anything. So let's go first to this article here. Let's go first to this section about graphics for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And one of the things I have in here is a link to a program called Landscape. And it's really pretty cool because it's really pretty cool because it's made specifically for social media, and it will basically do these things pretty automatically for you. And so if you want to do that, let's just take a look here. What you want to do is you can drag and drop to this box, or you can go out and you can find some images that will work also. And let me just whip into my images and pick kind of at random. Now what it does is Landscape is uploading the image, and there's this image. It's like I said, it's not really important what it is, but let's see what we can do in terms of Facebook. If we want to use this image in Facebook, we click on that and then say next. And then what are we going to do? I think this would probably be a better profile picture than a cover, so let's just do that. And next. And here it is. I can zoom in. I can't shrink it any, but I can also kind of drag it around. So if I want to just make that as a profile picture, let's say you had your business entity was a bike shop, or maybe a bicycling club, a team of some sort, or let's just say that you were like a superstar cyclist and we're writing a cycling blog or something like that. This would work. So then we're going to do this, and what's actually happening here, it's now this is my virus protector catching this. This down here is the download. So if I open the folder, there it is, and if I wanted to view it, well, there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and just save this to the desktop. Facebook bike and saving it to desktop. Now I can go to my page here, and this is my Miller and Associates page, and I can click on this little camera thing, and I'm going to look at uploading, and I'm going to go to the desktop, and I'm going to see that there is Facebook Bike. I'm going to click on that. It takes a little minute to crank up here. Now I get another chance to kind of drag it around and reposition it a little bit, and I can do that zoomy thing here, but I'm just going to say let's go with that, save, and there it is. So I'll just leave that for now. That is how you do that. You do the same thing up here for this larger image. It's called the cover. Okay, let's go back to our instructions. So that's using this landscape tool, and you're welcome to use that. There are other tools that are out there, and use what you feel comfortable with. Now if you don't do that automatic thing like in landscape, then you're going to have to know something about the image characteristic, and the most important characteristic is what is the size. Now the size for Facebook and the size for Twitter and the size for LinkedIn and the size for YouTube, they're all different, but you can use the same image. You may have to play around with it a little bit, but it's a real good idea. You're trying to establish your business or organizational entity as a brand. So if you're using the same look on all of your social media channels, that's actually a good thing. So let's just review this. In Facebook, the cover and the profile are the two critical things we'll talk about. Again, there's a difference even for the graphic size for an event, if you wanted to make a Facebook event, or for just a regular post. So you have to pay attention to that sort of thing. But if you just do these standard sizes right here as a starter, that would be great. So the little one that we already did, it's a square, and the square comes out to be 180 by 180 pixels. Pixels are the little dots that make up an image. So that's a pretty small image when it's 180 by 180. The cover, which is substantially more in area, is going to be 315 pixels high by 828 pixels wide. So as you'll see when we get in here, you can create a new image and use those parameters. So let's remember 318 by 828. Now if you have questions about Facebook graphics in particular, click on this link to the Facebook Help Center. Okay. Now here's LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is going to be a slightly different in terms of the dimensions. It's 1584 wide and 396 high. Again, the profile picture, which in LinkedIn actually becomes round, so you want to, again, you're going to do a square. And then we're going to come down here to Twitter. And Twitter has, this is kind of all the key elements on a Twitter page. But number 2, which is right here, is your profile photo. Once again, it's a square. So there's no reason you shouldn't use the same square image for all of your social media images that are the profile images for this exercise. Just use the same photo. Now, what makes a good profile is up to you to a certain extent. Most people use a headshot, and that is you. But if you have like a logo for a store or a brand, you may want to use the logo. It just has to be square. And then again, Twitter has this big expansive banner area up here, And that's real critical. There are other elements when you're setting up your Twitter account, and you read the articles about this, but it's going to include your Twitter name or handle, which has it has the @ sign at the beginning of it. So that would be the name. And if you have, like I use the @ Lawrence G. Miller for me. The second part, which is right in here, you're going to need to have a little profile. And this is the case with all social media. There's going to be something, it may be called about, it may be called profile, but you're going to be talking to your viewers about who you are, what you're doing, okay? And then your bio, which is there, and your header image. In Twitter world, it's not called a cover. That's only Facebook calls it that. It's called a header image. And then your last thing will be basically the most recent tweet you have. Now, one thing with Twitter that you can do, and you can also do this with Facebook, is you can do what's called pin to the top. So if you have something that you want to kind of have up there for a few days, you can pin it to the top. But that's going to be what it is. So here's my Twitter account. We can go to it live. Okay, so here's my Twitter account, and here's my photo. Here's my cover. Now, how do I change that? Well, I would have to edit. And here's where you upload this. Here's where you upload that. Pretty simple. Cancel that. Here's my little bio. And here's my latest tweet. So that's how that works. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at creating one within a tool, and I'll just show you Photoshop Elements. And if you have Photoshop or Photoshop Elements, they're both great. So we're going to go to create a blank file, okay? Now I have some presets in here, so I can go in and I can do a Facebook business cover, okay? So remember we said it was like 315 by 826, it says here. What's a pixel among friends? But anyway, if we click on that, okay, so there it is. It's all ready to go. And I can just start with a design, or I can start by placing an image on this. Let me just go real quickly to something that might work. Now I kind of like sort of abstract looking things, but let's say we want to do something like that. Okay, so we can see that it doesn't really quite fill up the whole frame. So we have these little corner things here, and you probably know how to do this. You just drag it out until you get a bigger image, and you click that. So that could be a cover. The thing that's important is the size. So then when you go to Facebook, you can just drop that in and it's going to fit. So that should at least get you started with the graphics for these 3 social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, please just feel free to message me and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks a lot.